Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim. Please like the video, and I'd really appreciate if you guys actually subscribe to the channel as well. But Gugabe, how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Rolling along. How about you, Tim?
Not bad. How'd you do last card from a betting perspective?
Very small profit. Again, classic sort of favourite fest pay-per-view. Again, I had both the winners in the main event and the co-main event, which helped a bit. So, yeah, fun card. Yeah. How about you?
I did well. I actually, once Emmers got down to minus 250, I actually kind of bet him kind of big. Because I was like, I think he wins this fight 4 out of 5 because he didn't have to follow a game plan to win. You know, it's like when he fights Jack Jenkins, it's like he could be 80% in that fight, but he'll probably strike with Jack, which could make it like him 60%. But with like the Vince Cachero, it was like he didn't have to follow a game plan. He's better everywhere. And I saw it kind of the same. I actually thought Bazooki was like worse than anyone he's fought too. When Emmers can just flow, he's going to fuck people up, you know? But when he has to actually follow a game plan, that's his issue. But the fight still ended quickly, but it seemed like he was probably going to fuck him up, you know, just like even before the knockout, he was like landing a bit and stuff, but it happened quick. But at him, I was a little bit on Godinez. That fight kind of ended up being, I felt like the sequencing made it closer than it was. Like, I feel like Godinez won all 3 rounds. I honestly thought she probably covered her line. I think that version of the fight ended up being closer because like she won 12 minutes of the fight. And then Ricci, one of the things wasn't even a knockdown. It was just like Godinez fell over. It was kind of like a trip in round 2, but bad judging there. But yeah, like we can talk about overall the card. Pereira, Yuri. Honestly, like I picked Pereira to win, but like I didn't like the way it was going until that moment. Like he started getting hit a little bit and he got outlanded at distance. Like the leg kicks were obviously a very big deal, and he's probably gonna knock out Yuri at a decent clip. But if Yuri just survives the first like 10 minutes, I feel like Yuri would probably win that fight. But it's hard to know for sure. You know, like maybe Pereira rocks up with cardio and stuff. But did you kind of feel the same? Like when I was watching it live, I kind of felt like, it's good he got that knockout, or else shit could have went south. But the fight also happened pretty quick. What did you think?
Yeah, I had Pereira minus 110, and like immediately before the knockout, if it kept going to like plus 150, and I was like, all right, oh shit. I was like kind of hoping he'd get like wobble or something so I could just exit.
Yeah.
Because Pereira, the leg kick was there, but even then it wasn't like, the leg kick was there, but it wasn't like Jerry was getting absolutely destroyed by the leg kick. Like it was annoying. Yeah. Honestly, like I came out of that fight thinking both of them kind of suck. Like that.
I thought that going in, and I kind of thought that after.
I agree. Like again, I've never been hugely high on either of them, but like watching that was more like I just downgrade. But again, like I'd be happy to take like Menefield or some shit at plus 200 against either of those guys. Like again, like my view of these guys is like if I could get like a top 15 light heavyweight against. Just not good. Like Jerry's mid as fuck. Like I'd probably make Jerry like minus 150 in a rerun just off the cardio and the grappling upside. But like they're both not very good.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Jamal Hill's plus 140 versus Pereira. That's Jamal Hill all day, in my opinion. Like as far as like the odds go, like Jamal's a better boxer, man. Like he's way better, and his durability is better too. Like he's very, very durable, and he just puts on volume. I just feel like he's gonna Pereira defensively is like a boxer isn't that great. Like he can get tagged. I don't know. I feel like I've always said Jamal would just like beat up Yuri. Like Yuri's too defensively irresponsible. Like Jamal's better defensively than those guys, and he's got cardio too. Jamal actually could maybe even like have grappling success against Pereira. Like he's an underrated like grappler. But yeah. Aspinall Pavlovich, I honestly like who knows? Like it just kind of like I picked Aspinall going in because I thought he had more tools to win.
Yeah.
Like, and the grappling could have been there. Sergey landed a big shot. I just rewatched it, and then really the only shot. I mean, he landed some good leg kicks for sure. The only headshot Aspinall really landed basically finished the fight. So So yeah, but what do you think of that fight?
On the Hill Pereira thing, like I agree. I'd favour Hill, but like his striking, his boxing defense can be a bit shit, and leg kicks can be a little bit of an issue. But
I would have to look. I mean, this is also me like off the couch thinking about it. I would have to look into some tape too, like maybe because like the leg kicks could obviously be a path to victory for Pereira against.
I kind of see it the same as I do like Hill, as I do like Jerry versus Pereira. Like, I'd probably make Hill like minus 150 kind of a thing. I just wouldn't be I wouldn't be like this is a minus 5 billion gun spot.
No, I wouldn't either. No, any striking based fight is kind of tough, you know.
I mean, Aspinall Pavlovich, my take pre-fight was that, like, all right, if Pavlovich gets a Pavlovich fight, it's probably 50-50. And if Aspinall decides to do anything else, he probably has a pathway there. And, like, my view was, like, minus 110 Aspinall, like, it turned out the Pavlovich fight was 50-50. Like, again, like, Pavlovich could definitely have killed him. Like, I'm not going to pretend, like, Aspinall looked flawless or anything like that. But, like, I think in that spot, you got to take Aspinall a coin flip just because like he had this
because of the potential grappling upside for
also
sure.
The leg kicks. Leg kicks are also handy.
Yeah, those leg kicks help for sure. He landed a few like really good ones. Andrade Dern, I had a feeling about this one. I wasn't confident on a side, but I was very confident Dern was a sucker bet at minus 220. I think we both talked about it.
Yeah,
Dogger Pass. It's hard because like Andrade's trajectory was weird, but also like I had said. It's way different style matchup. Like Suarez is like can actually take you down, and then Blanchfield can backtake and whatnot. And a lot of Dern stuff, it's not like she's taking people down and taking their back, which is kind of the issue with Andrade. She's like getting omoplatas and shit, and Andrade is very strong at just like exploding out of shit like that. And I also just felt like. I was also like, I know Dern looked good against Hill, but I've seen so many times she didn't, and I just thought maybe one singular performance, you're not like as good or as bad as like one performance, and I kind of was thinking that too. But I just thought like Andrade was being a little disrespected going in the fight. Like, sure, Dern could still catch her with something, and she honestly. I think you liked Dern KO at like whatever it was. She hurt Andrade, but Andrade just kind of beat the shit out of her. I wasn't that shocked either. Like I was kind of like I kind of had a feeling shit was gonna be sketchy for Dern in that fight. But any other opinions on that?
I ended up taking a little bit of Vince KO at like plus 300, just like I felt like Dern could knock her out, and like obviously Andrade win would be KO at a big clip, so that was good. I know it's kind of weird because like Dern was kind of winning the striking for the first 440 of round one. Like obviously it's not particularly like I'm not saying as a minus 200 Dern better you wanted to be striking with Andrade, but it was kind of like funny in that respect. Like look at the stats, it was like what?
It was close. I think Andrade outlanded her like barely, but it was competitive.
Yeah, but like that was through the ground and pound and the flurry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you take out the sort of the bit where Dern gets dropped and then sort of swung on. Dern was probably, I think Dern was up like 10 strikes prior to the knockdown.
Oh, really?
It was like the final margin was 27-25 in Andrade's favor, and she has 4 ground and pound strikes.
Are you talking about in the first?
Yeah, the first round. Like, I'm not saying that
distance was 23-18 Dern, so pretty competitive. You know, like
I'm pretty sure that like Andrade, it wasn't a single shot standing, was it from memory? Because I'm pretty sure that it's like it's always the issue with these stats is like if I drop you or I hurt you and I suddenly put up like 20 strikes in that flurry. Oh,
for sure. Like really, you always have to contextualize everything. Yeah, for sure. Still, like Dern's capable of like one big shot, but I feel like not all of her strikes have power on them. Where like Andrade is a lot of like consistent shit. Her leg kicks were also chewing Dern up a little bit, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, like like shit. And the thing is, like Dern still hurt her, but it was also like I wasn't sold on Dern being able to just get grappling going. I wasn't.
Sure, yeah.
Those other girls were like take good double legs, take your back. Dern doesn't do that. Like Dern just like tries to panic you into falling over almost. And it's like Andrade, the way she stifled Lauren Murphy, I was like, I don't know. She could maybe do that to Dern. Like, look what Rebos did to Dern. And that kind of started playing out. Dern is very hard to cap, though. Like, I feel like we're going to go against a girl. Like, Dern's going to go against another girl, be plus 150 against a girl who you think is just going to do what Andrade did, sprawl and brawl. Then all of a sudden, like, all Dern's shit will work, and you're just going to – she's really hard to cap.
And also, it's just I feel like I didn't have money line take on this, but I also felt Dern. It's like her grappling style can be so weird sometimes. Where it's like, I agree she's not going to be hitting many conventional takedowns, but like if she'd just come out and gone for some stupid fucking leg lock or some shit, and Andrade had just not pulled away, it's like that would have also been like plausible to me. Yeah. Like what was it? What was she hit with? Like lock ciphers? Obviously, I'm not saying Andrade just ciphers, but like Andrade just kind of dumb enough. You never know, but like. Andrade overstays a welcome in some sort of weird jank position, and like anybody is going to hit that, it's going to be Dern.
Isn't it funny how if Dern Hill never happened and they made that match, like say that fight just didn't happen, we've seen every other fight with them. Like I would probably pick Hill to win, but like we saw how that fight went, and going into that fight, I thought Hill was like a live dog. I don't think I had a strong take money line, but that's like that performance was so weird because like Dern did look incredible, but it was also. Like Hill, you'd think Hill could conceptually stop some takedowns and get the better of the striking against Dern, but like when they fought, she just got completely destroyed. So that's why like singular performances are sometimes a little weird,
I think also like MMA is a very like momentum based thing where like you get one, you have a good moment early. Think of grappler versus striker matchups. It's like if you can keep the person off like the first 5 takedowns, they start gassing, they lose confidence, they stop shooting, and it kind of like snowballs off in that direction.
Yeah.
Whilst other times it's like if Dern gets the first takedown, she fucks Hill up, Hill's tired for the rest of the fight, Hill's confidence goes, yada. I remember I had the undo in Hill versus Dern, which was very annoying because that was an all-time beating. But what are you gonna do? BSD for Vola?
That BSD's a problem, man. Like he's not. I mean, if you don't knock him out, you're in for a fucking war. Like it's not gonna be a. I think he's gonna get out slicked at some point, but I'm like on the train of him potentially. I mean, dude, he would probably beat Poirier. Like, I mean, Poirier will never fight him because Poirier doesn't fight anyone except like 3 people, and. There's so many guys like Gamrot, all these guys I feel like would beat like the Chandlers and Poiriers, but they just and at least Gaethje fought Fiziev, but generally those like 3 guys only fight each other. I always harp on this, but isn't it annoying? Like it's been like a 3-year stall of the division, and you have all these other guys battling it out who are beating each other. So it's like they can't pass them in the rankings. They don't even get a chance, It's really, really annoying. But I think I'd pick BSD over all 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think of BSD as I feel like BSD is now like again. I bet BSD big against Bonfim, which was an incredible spot. But I just feel like now the hype train has gone to the point where it's like probably not getting great value.
It might have gotten too much. I agree, but he also is good. Like he's also going to be tough to deal with.
I just think he's like he's a high floor guy, but low ceiling kind of guy because like he gets into this stuff. Like even like here, it's like it was a good performance, but like I don't think it was super indicative of anything. Like what they went to war for 90 seconds and then he landed the head kick.
Yeah, I like his like little like butterfly sweep to get up was impressive. Like it was just like immediate. I liked that.
I'd love to get
the pressure he puts on is just tough because like it's a grappling and striking fight,
I'm not saying he's bad. Like, give me a dog BSD against Poirier or Gaethje or Chandler all day.
For sure. I don't think he'd be a dog against some of those guys.
I'm just concerned. I feel like it's going to be a point where he's in minus 250 and people are just going to be betting him forever kind of a thing.
I mean, there's going to be a chance for like, I agree there's not value on his line, but I also think like straight picking, like who's going to give a lot of people issues.
I agree in that respect, but also just like, we're here to bet. I don't really give a shit. I'm not saying the guy's bad. Just, I'm here to bet. Like, if a guy just, it's like fucking Pereira or some shit. It's like, all right, I recognize he's good, but if a guy's just gonna be minus 10 billion against everybody, it's like they become irrelevant in betting because it's just like, all right, Mark's gonna go do that.
Yeah. Lopez Sabatini. I liked Sabatini going in, and I stayed away because I was scared, and I'm glad because I was just afraid of that happening, like the fragility, and it's just for whatever reason, if just like there was a little chaos and he got caught with something, but the fact he stopped Sabatini's takedown was good, but it was also a quick thing. Like
one takedown.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just saying, but I was just afraid of like Lopez might not need that much striking time to hurt Sabatini. But also, I'm still a believer in like it was a minute and 30 seconds of a fight. You know, like I would want to see more to know for sure. But I was worried about Sabatini there, but I picked him to win. I generally liked his like line even, but I stayed away, and I'm glad I did. But Sabatini will just get high rolled here and there, but he's still like I'm pretty confident he's still like a better grappler than Lopez. But yeah.
I mean, I had some Sabatini. I just thought, all right, massive process advantage, grappling advantage. Lopez gets tired, etc.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably that fight's probably more just done like annoyed me more as a. All right, back in the time when Sabatini was minus 5 billion against people, he shouldn't have been like. I faded Sabatini quite a bit coming up. I had Emmers, I had a bunch of other guys. It's like, in hindsight, he's so fragile. It's like when his game works, he looks minus 10 billion. I don't deny that.
If Emmers Emmers is legitimately 90% in that fight. I truly believe that. It's like a thing where if he just doesn't go for that leg lock, because if he just stayed in guard and stuff, I think he would stifle any of those submissions. But also, if he just sprawled and brawled, like Sabatini's not getting him down, and Emmers is going to light him up like a Christmas tree on the feet, like clearly. And that was the thing. I also thought Emmers had a little sneaky, like he has sneaky power, and that kind of showed up for his Bazooki. I was like he hurt Sabatini too. He also hurt like a roast on the Contender Series. Like people think of him as a point striker, but I think he's got a little more pop than people think, you know. But like I think he would have knocked Sabatini out if he just disengaged, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if he just lands slightly better there, he probably just kills him, and that's it.
Yeah,
like he had him 98% of the way gone.
Yeah.
I know, and also just kind of like Sabatini just makes me feel bad. Like I bet Sabatini last time against Almeida. I'm watching that. I'm just kind of like, I probably got value against Almeida, but like, all right, Sabatini is so fucking fragile. He could just die.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Lopez is. Yeah, I'd probably take Almeida head-to-head against Lopez, to be honest. Like I think Lopez sucks.
Yeah, there's going to be a good spot against Lopez at some point. I'm glad. There's going to be like, I never got dragged into the trap of betting against, what is it, Alvarez or whatever. But Sarukian was the one spot I went in. I was like, I trust Sarukian. And like, even I know he was like minus 200, but still, I was like, Sarukian is going to murder this man. He's just going to destroy him. And I feel like a spot will come. I even think someone who's like elite will fight Lopez and be like minus 150 to 200. And you're just going to get like, even that I think will be a good spot. But I think a time will come, but I have learned to be very wise when it comes to these type of fighters to like pick the spot intelligently. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Like we talked about. Castaneda, I think you had him. That was good.
Yeah, Castaneda.
Matt. It was funny. I know Madsen was having success early, but I was like, this is not like he's like, what is he doing? Because it's like if you do not knock out Gordon, and Gordon's tougher than people think. Yeah. I feel like the only people he's
fragile is tough.
Thing is, I don't even think he's as fragile as people think. It's like the only times he was finished was like Oliveira, which is like, okay, everyone gets finished by Oliveira. And then war versus Joaquin Silva. You know what I mean? Like a complete war. It wasn't like he just got hit once. Gordon's more durable than people think, but I was like, Madsen, what are you doing? Like you're emptying out the gas tank, and Gordon can fight all day. And I was like, oh, he's gonna get knocked out, and then it came, and like, yeah. But I
had the under in 90 days. It was like plus 220 for the under 2.5, and I was like, all right, unless Madsen completely does nothing, it's just gonna like Madsen cannot sustain that pace.
Evers should be 90%. Evers should be 90% against Lopez, but he'll go in like he'll beat the shit out of him for 7 minutes, jump in, like go for like jump into his guard and get like knee barred or something. See, the thing is, I love Evers, but I wouldn't like want to get in on him on a spot like this because I only want Emmers when he doesn't have to follow a game plan. Like here, he needs to kind of follow a game. Honestly, he still could probably jump in the guard and be okay. I think he would be personally, but it's still concerning because like there is a chance he's fucking stupid in that fight. But I would pick Emmers to win that fight for sure.
I mean, Godinez also to circle back to Godinez Ricci. I think Godinez covered. I think she probably wins that more often than not.
Yeah.
But I also took Ricci plus 900 live because I was just like, this decision is like.
It was a fight where dumb people could get it wrong. Where like any reasonable person, it's like 30-27. But
yeah,
because even the first round, Godinez was beating the shit out of her. Then she and knocked her down, and then got like hit with a big shot. And then I think it wasn't round 2. At the end of round 2, Godinez was generally winning the round, and then it was like a caught kick, like trip, and people thought it was maybe a knockdown, but it wasn't.
I feel like people overstated the Godinez. I think Godinez is a better fighter. I think she was definitely winning, but like, so some people in Twitter immediately after were acting like Godinez was putting 10-7s on her, kind of a thing.
No,
like,
I didn't think it was that. I thought she was.
The margins weren't that big. Like, I mean, I think she was definitely winning. I think you have to be an idiot to not. But like,
for sure. I'm not like I thought she was going to win easier than that. Like because the whole thing, I think a lot of people thought Ricci had a chance to grapple her. I was pretty confident she wasn't going to be able to. And so if you would have told me she got a 15-minute kickboxing fight, I thought the fight would have been wider. Like I still thought like I still thought it was 30-27 Godinez. Like, and I'm not even like on the MMA decisions, like 60% of the cards are 30-27 Godinez. I think only one person gave Ricci the fight, and it was 29-28. And like 30-27 Ricci's like an all-time bad scorecard. But the fight, like, yeah, Lupi was a beat up a little bit, but I still thought like Lupi was landing like the bigger shots. Yeah. Like you can't always just look at like lacerations and things like that. But I thought Godinez won. But I do agree, Ricci kind of performed better in the striking than you would have thought she would have, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Let's get on to the card this week. Not nearly as good as the card last week, but hopefully the fights end up turning all right. Brendan Allen and Paul Craig. Like, I mean, you can tell. I think everyone's going to have like the same overall opinion on the fight. But are you going 35 units on Paul Craig to get the W?
I mean, I can't really see how Craig wins this coherently, but like that's not important. This is Paul Craig. I mean, again, like, as I've always been a fan of Paul Craig, who was the best light heavyweight in the world, having beat the 3 best light heavyweights in the world, all by finish.
I was talking to my buddy today, and if you could grab any light heavyweight in history, like, and any light heavyweight, their 3 best wins, Paul Craig has the 3 best wins in light heavyweight history. Like even like John Jones, like I'm just saying, like even if you look at like John Jones' 3 best wins, I don't know if they're like better. I mean, it could get splitting hairs, but Craig is like right in that conversation for sure.
Because even like Ankalaev, like obviously he's had the draw and the no contest kind of foul a bit. Like Ankalaev's best 3 wins are what? Krylov. Fuck. Like he goes Krylov, I guess Ozdemir, then
for who?
Smith.
Who?
For Ankalaev, it's like his best 3 wins are what? Like Krylov, Ozdemir, Smith, I guess.
The fact that Paul Craig has Ankalaev, Hill, and Krylov is insane. Like those are 3 top 5 light heavyweights in my opinion, and like that's insane. He finished all of them, right?
Yeah. I mean, how the fuck would he win a decision against any of those people?
Yeah. He finished. I mean, I'm just like, his career's so stupid. Sometimes I forget what happened.
Look, Paul Craig is just the guy. Like, I think that, like, it's indicative that John Jones went up the heavyweight to keep away from him. But like, fucking.
Anyway, okay. About this matchup, so Sean made a point. Like, I do agree. Allen, even Muniz was having success on the feet. I still would favor Allen on the feet, but I don't like Craig can sometimes put up some volume and stuff. He looks awkward doing it, but I would still favor Allen on the feet. I think most people would, but Craig, Allen is like bad enough on the feet, and Craig at least is aggressive enough to where shit could happen. But overall, I do think Allen hits harder, and he's probably a little cleaner of a striker too. He's better with top position. Has Allen ever been submitted before? I don't think I know he hasn't in the UFC. I don't know if he has, like, in general.
I
don't think he has. I guess he has one time. Like, it had to have been early.
Giles back in
2016. Yeah.
Kevin Giles, the guy.
Yeah,
like I feel like Craig usually has to win by either complete grappling ignorance in his opponents or a complete cardio dump. And like, I think Allen has solid grappling, even if he can be caught, and has good cardio. So I can't really see much of a path. Yeah. But also, Allen's kind of dumb enough. I wouldn't take plus 350. Actually, also I forgot that Craig also beats what's his name?
Kennedy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably the four greatest light heavyweight wins of all time.
Yeah, I mean, Allen's process is better. So, like, of course, I'm going to pick him to win, but I still feel like he's dumb enough. And Craig is Paul Craig. Like, he has a date. Like I know Allen's a black belt, but Paul Craig is just dangerous enough on the mat or something. Like a guard sub could happen. I just stay very far away from Craig fights. But I
mean. And also, so like if you look at the head-to-head, like Allen Muniz was like a war, and then Craig just kind of fucked Muniz. And like again, it seemed like Muniz just kind of mentally, after the Allen fight, it seems like Muniz just kind of decided he was no longer mentally doing MMA. Like it feels like these grapple memes, they just kind of have that one loss, and then they're just done.
What do you think? So this is kind of like a wrinkle in the fight. Do you think Craig could get top position on Allen?
I mean, based on the Muniz fight, potentially. Like he's a bit bigger and he's a bit more double-leggy at middleweight. So
Craig actually has, because he doesn't like, he's not a good wrestler. Like he can get thrown down a lot, but he actually lands a couple takedowns per 15, and every now and then he can like use his length and a double leg to get you down. And Allen does defend takedowns at 55%, so it's like a lot of that was because of Malkoon the GOAT, but I do think it's at least possible. Like I feel like. I feel like the fight's wild enough to where like I'm not interested. What's the line now? Like minus 400 Allen.
Yeah,
like, there can't be no chance. No way. Like I wouldn't even put him in like a parlay or anything.
Even like Craig Crute. Like Craig got
like that's too wide, in my opinion.
Even like Paul Craig versus Jim Crute. Like Paul Craig won a top position round against Jim Crute, and like Jim Crute's fine. Jim Crute has defensive and chin issues, no doubt. But like Jim Crute's a pretty good grappler, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've just seen Allen put on his back and stuff. Like he's gotten his back taken. Who was it? Dawkins, like out grappled him at times. Like I feel like Craig always has a chance to finish, and he could have some moments on the feet, some positional moments on the mat to like make things interesting. But I still hate his wrestling game. But honestly, I do think it's probably dog or pass to that. I'm not getting involved personally, but it's like. It's a fun fight. Well, are any props you're interested in?
I haven't even looked. I was hoping for Allen KO to be bigger, but it's not. Nah.
The only issue is Malkoon's like he did, but Malkoon's like an elite wrestler. Like I mean, he's a really good wrestler. Better wrestler than Craig. I still do think Craig can maybe like find some top position though. Just I don't think he's gonna get 7 takedowns like Malkoon did.
Malkoon getting robbed against Allen still an all-time. Like that was fucked. Like, I think a bunch of us had like 5 units on Malkoon, and he gets fucked on the scorecards. And it's fucked.
I thought he won that. It was a really close fight. I thought
he was like plus 350.
Yeah, it was a close fight. I thought Malkoon won, but it was really competitive. A lot of reversing of position and whatnot.
I think the swing for me on that was like 30 units because like Malkoon decision was like plus 1,000, and it was just like one of these things where everybody I knew would just go fucking crazy on Malkoon decision because it was just like, well, this could look minus, and it kind of like I think Malkoon decision probably like plus 200 in the rerun.
Yeah. I mean, we can move on. It's whatever. Matthews and Morales. Morales kind of impressed me versus Max Griffin, just like his like physicality. Like I don't. He's weird. He kind of reminds me of Petrino. Like I feel like if you look at like his skills, he's not particularly great, but he's okay. And then he's like a freak athlete, freak physicality, freak durability, like powerful. And I just feel like Matthews, a lot of Matthews' wins are like terrible. Like has he like if you look at his wins, I mean, they're like all time bad. And just like the fact that Semmelsberger like dropped him 3 times and stuff, I just feel like Matthews might struggle with physicality here. And I think Morales is a rightful favorite for those reasons. Like he is like green enough and Matthews is skilled enough and experienced enough where like you look at the line and you think it's maybe too wide. But I ultimately do think Morales will probably just like be too physical, and I feel like him hurting Matthews is like way more likely than the opposite happening. But like, dude, Jake Matthews has some of the worst wins I've ever seen in MMA. Darius Flowers, Andre Fialho, Diego Sanchez, Abil Mek, okay, Rostam Akhman, Shinsho Anzai, Bojan Velikovic. Leach was his best performance.
Yeah,
Johnny King, Akbar Areola, Wagner Rocha.
He's subbed Wagner Rocha.
I'm just saying, like,
he's subbed Wagner Rocha. That's a very funny win. Like in all the, like, you know how good Wagner Rocha is at grappling.
I'm just saying, like, his wins are terrible. Like very.
No, I agree.
Like they're very bad for a guy who you consider near like 15th ranked in the division. Like they're all time bad. Like I don't even know if any of these guys are in the UFC anymore. I think the only one who might be is Leach. No one else. Leach is the only one. So. Yeah.
Jake Matthews
there anymore.
Jake Matthews having a sub win over Wagner Rocha is very funny. You have to admit, like Wagner Rocha is like a legitimate jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
It's like if he just randomly had a Gilbert Burns sub win or something like that. I don't
what do
know.
you think here?
I'm going like that. I'm probably like Team Matthews slightly. I feel like Matthews is kind of weird because like when he's actually in his element, when he's flowing, he's actually quite good. He just doesn't seem to have.
He's not a bad fighter. But the thing is, I feel like it's funny. I feel like Morales would be by far his best win in his career. Like if you actually like look, like Morales is better than all the guys I just named. So that is like kind of funny. Like even though it's maybe a step up in competition for Morales, like Matthews has awful wins, and he kind of just loses anytime he gets like a decent fighter.
Yeah, but that's kind of the issue. Like, I feel like there's kind of a big gap between Matthews' wins because they're so shit, and then Matthews' losses tend to be like guys who are like actually like decent, like Brady,
Semmelsberger, Anthony Martin, Andrew Holbrook, Sean.
Holbrook sucks. Holbrook sucks. I agree. But everybody else is kind of decent.
They're kind of decent, but like also Michael Morales is like better than Semmelsberger.
I'm just Michael Morales. I just like he. Like I think he's got like a decent. He's got like a high floor because like he's a freak athlete and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he was absolutely. Fugit was competing with him. Giles tapped him again. Like we watched that fight. He taps the Giles. It's
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is like a freak athlete, and I do think like he's only going to get better. You know, like it's kind of like Pereira.
Yeah, true.
I feel like their trajectories are like different.
At least Petrino has a grappling though. Yeah. Petrino isn't light heavyweight, which is worse, and will go for takedowns. And like just being a light heavyweight who can hit an occasional takedown makes you fucking great.
Petrino's our boy. I feel like Petrino's going to go on a bit of a run. Like I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I was skeptical coming in, but like now I've seen like the last two fights, and
yeah. I'm gonna go with Morales here. I do think like surface level, the experience of Matthews. He's a capable fighter. And Morales is green, but I really do think like it's like is Matthews really going to out grapple him? I don't think so. And then he's physical. He actually knows how to defend takedowns for the most part. And then on the feet, I just feel like Morales is like at a physicality and athletic edge. But Matthews is skilled. I don't know. Like I think I would put Morales around like minus 250 or something. I think he's like minus 300 now. Yeah, no, I like Morales. I just said he was a good. Like I like his wrestling. I wrote that in my breakdown. I was actually impressed with his wrestling. Anyway, next one. Sorry, I'm pulling up the card. Is it Levit and Chase? I can't believe I'm spending my evening talking about this fight with a random Australian prison mate. But anyway, what do you think of this one?
I think Price is right. I just think Hooper's pace just kind of means that he wins it more often than not. Again, honestly, now it's kind of plus 170. Now it's come to like minus 200. I think Hooper's actually probably maybe a little bit of value. I think Levit's just kind of the worst version of Hooper. Like again, like Hooper has
really
no defense.
Similar. It's funny. Yeah.
But like Hooper's just, I think Hooper's just better at what they're both trying to do. Like I can't really. Yeah.
Levit isn't completely terrible as a striker and can he has hurt some people here and there. He knocked out his last guy, which is, I mean, whatever.
That was
and Hooper can be cracked. Like a Levit KO would be fucking hilarious, by the way. But I do think if the fight extends 15 minutes, I do agree. Like Hooper, he always is throwing strikes from every position. Like he landed, what was it, 149 significant strikes in his last fight against Fiore. I picked him in that fight too, and it was like even. I was like kind of shocked by the line. But I ultimately agree. There's similar fighters. At least Hooper will like try to keep landing strikes, if that makes sense. But they're both bad enough positionally to where like I could see either of them giving up like bottom position. Who do you favor as a submission grappler?
Yeah, I think the pace. Like, yeah, also Levit just getting fucked up by Paddy shocked me. Like,
yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. Yeah. Yeah, the pace, I agree. Like, at least you want to pace. I do think Hooper could get cracked here, though. Like, Levit isn't like a heavy hitter or anything, but Hooper does get hurt a lot. And, like, he made, what's his name? Look like fucking Deontay Wilder. Who was it?
Yeah, English guy.
Crack, but still, it was like every strike hurt him. I do agree with the pace ultimately, though, with Hooper. Like, I feel like that will kind of be an issue for Levit. And I do agree, like, Levit had some early success against Paddy, but then he kind of just, like, fell off a cliff, you know, and just kind of gave up. So, yeah. Peyton Talbot and Nick Aguirre. I don't know. Who's Peyton Talbot? I haven't taken this one. I know.
The guy sucks.
I know he does. Like who did he fight? Argueta or Argueta, right? Yeah. I remember Aguirre. He's like kind of like a grappler, but not very good. Lack of physicality. Talbot's a monster favorite. I know nothing about him. He was on the Contender Series. I think I kind of remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think Talbot's solid. Again, probably might be a little bit too enthusiastic. Aguirre will try hard, but like,
yeah. Aguirre's not UFC level.
Yeah.
So I
Rebos
think
Pereira is kind of weird though.
Yeah. That Rebos is better, I feel like skill wise, but Pinheiro kind of hits hard, and Rebos's chin has always scared me a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but Pinheiro has like 7 minutes of gas. I just think Rebos wins automatically.
And I mean her decision line's minus 140, and Pinheiro's like plus 500 decision. So like the odds makers agree, but they're giving Pinheiro like a little bit of a chance at a KO just because like Rebos is a bit fragile. I will say that. Like she's been hurt multiple times, but Rebos is like better. Pinheiro, I thought, lost to Waterson, honestly.
Pinheiro's been quite fortunate to get as far as she has in the UFC, to be honest. Like, even like the Marcos fight, she was starting to gas and gets a DQ.
Yeah, Waterson outlanded her 53-38 at distance. She did land some like decent shots in that fight, Pinheiro. Like, I could see the power keeping her in this fight with Rebos a little bit, but like it's like she's too reliant on it. If the power doesn't show up, she's not going to win. You know.
I mean, I bet Barber at this price against Rebos, and I think Barber hits harder than Pinheiro, and Barber has absolutely stupid physicality, whilst Pinheiro just feels like.
And she's also more skilled than Pinheiro. Yeah. Like, Pinheiro's not very skillful. Like she's got some judo in her game, some head and arm throws, and she's got like decent leg kick, a little bit of like power in her punches, but I don't know. In her decisions, she's landed 60 and 44 significant strikes. Like I just like if she wins, if it goes to a decision, her best chance is like a very, very close split decision where Rebos could just pull away, you know.
Oh, and Rebos puts like a crazy pace on people. I'll probably take a little bit of Rebos round 3, round 2 kind of stuff. Just I feel like Rebos, if Rebos is looking good, she probably does look like she can finish in round 2 or 3. Like my view was like Rebos was what? I think Rebos was this price against who's the other Araujo? I mean, Rebos was like evens against Araujo, and I think Araujo is a harder version of this fight. Like, Pinheiro has been very lucky to have the UFC record she does. Like, Marcos, she was starting to gas, hits the up kick, gets DQ. I think Marcos probably would have pulled away down the stretch. Sam Hughes pulled away in round 3. I think like the whole thing came down to like a very tight round 2 from memory. Yeah, and Waterson was fighting like Waterson does occasionally, where she does like nothing on the outside, and then she won a very tight decision. So like,
For sure. And the thing is, Rebos like also might be being a little undervalued after that Barber fight because her 2 fights before that she looked good. Like she looked good against Araujo, and I thought she looked good against Chokagian. Like that was a really close fight against Chokagian, and Chokagian's good. Like Chokagian's a good fighter.
And even with the Barber fights, like Barber took it to absolute hell, and Rebos still had a lot of success there. Like I just don't think that's
Barber just hulked her in that fight. She was just like, I'm gonna fucking like. We are going to stand in a phone booth in close quarters, and I'm going to break you.
Yeah, but it's not like Rebos also. Rebos like almost beat her in a couple of it. Wasn't until the nose blew up. No, I don't think Pinheiro is capable of that. Like Barber is like every slide is a fucking 15 kind of women's athlete. Well, Pinheiro is just like, all right, she can kind of hit for 3 minutes.
With
I'm actually kind of annoyed because I was hoping for a better fade on Pinheiro. Like the entire time I'm looking at Pinheiro, I'm like, this is unsustainable. She is not very good. And now it's like, all right, she's finally got to a point where she's fadeable, but it's against.
I think the line's about right. Like I could see like her hurting Rebos. I do think it's possible, or I could see just like her power keeping her in rounds like a little bit. But like ultimately, I do think Rebos is just better, more cardio, more volume, and she'll probably win for those reasons. But Medic got a new opponent, some guy I never heard of. I just read that. Any other fights? Pierce and Britto is a good one.
The guy fighting Medic's like an actual like grappler kind of thing, so I think probably worth a shot if there's a decent line. Just I feel like Medic's grappling. Medic's a guy I'll bet is a big dog because I think he's got a high volatility style. But like if you give me Medic minus. Yeah, if I can get big plus against Medic against somebody who is an absolute garbage, and Johnny Parsons is absolute garbage, so I wasn't going to bet that. But like this, I think this debut might actually be a spot.
What do you think of Pierce Britto? Like it's almost even.
Britto either kills him inside a round, or Pierce does Pierce things to him. In my opinion, like it's how Pierce fights.
I almost think. Because I don't have plays yet on this card. I'm kind of still going through. Like I think there might be value on Pierce. I'm just worried about him getting killed because like, dude, Britto's only faced 2 takedown attempts in the UFC, and it was like both against Algeo, and Algeo got like 5 minutes of control with that. And dude, Pierce is a good grappler. Like Christian Rodriguez is a better defensive grappler than Britto, like pretty clearly in my opinion. And Pierce had like 10 straight minutes of success against him, and then Rodriguez kind of, then did well. But I feel like Pierce is just going to out-grapple him if he doesn't get killed. That's the worry because I don't like Pierce's defensive wrestling, but it's like, is the KO threat really minus or even here, for Britto? Like I just feel like I like Pierce's style more. And he might just fuck Britto up on the mat. Like, honestly, he might just like ground and pound him. He's a lot bigger. I was going to watch a little more tape on it, but ultimately, like I was coming away like leaning Pierce a bit, but I was worried about the KO for sure. But I'm just like, we'll see how the line goes because it came in. It came in to like around even. I think it opened around even. Pierce shot out and then it's like back. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I think, it's like Pierce Britto. Just like, I don't know, I just feel like Britto could explode him in a round. Like, Pierce's cardio is also kind of weird because like he keeps trying hard, but also he has had these moments where he's just kind of overpaced himself.
Christian Rodriguez is a great neutralizer though. Like he can handle people putting a pace on them, and it's like like every other fight. Pierce just ran everyone over. Like it's like he was setting the pace and wasn't getting neutralized at all. Where like Rodriguez can actually reverse you and make you have to go again and like actually tire you out. And that's kind of what like I came out of that fight just thinking they both looked good, like Pierce and Rodriguez. I was actually kind of impressed with Rodriguez like weathering and then like coming back. And I was also impressed with Pierce like being able to do what he did for 10 minutes. Rodriguez is like pretty good defensively. Like I question his offense a little bit, but he's a great neutralizer for sure. But I don't know. Is there any other fight you want to talk about? I'm good. I'm kind of still.
I don't know. Charles Johnson. That might be funny. Esteban's kind of a Brazilian grappler against Charles Johnson, who will probably grind his way to make it difficult. Seems like a solid card. Should be entertaining.
Cool.
All good.
Well, we're on a break after this, so you won't see us for a bit. And then we come to the Austin card. I'm actually going to go to the Austin card. So if anyone goes, let me know. I can say hi. But that's a great card. I looked at it.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's good.
Did you see it? I mean, I looked at it and it's like it's like an hour and a half flight. I was like, I'll go. I mean, Darius Sarukian, Hooker Green, Roundtree, Murtzakanov, that will be fun. Font Figueiredo, Brady Gastelum. This is stacked. Soriano Stoltzfus will probably be funny. Veronica Hardy, that means Dan Hardy will be there and just talking about like philosophy when he does fight breakdowns. Misha Tate, Avila, Guido will be like that's a pretty fun card overall, don't you think?
Yeah, even the shit fights are funny. Like Bondage is involved off his dominant finish.
Garcia, Costa Garcia
would be good and it's funny. I'm all far more over Tevin to be good at.
Yeah.
And Costa actually looked good last time against Lingo. I've forgotten about that fight. I think I had Lingo. I had like Costa the finish, and Lingo took an absolute he got absolutely fidgeted. It was annoying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. So if anyone's going, let me know. I can say hi to you at the event. But all right. Well, that's everything. I'll see you in a couple weeks then. So happy.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and then Thanksgiving's next week. I know you guys don't celebrate, but that's why we don't have there's never a card on Thanksgiving week. So.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Early Thanksgiving, and I'll see you after the break. So see you, boys.
Catch you guys.
Bye.